And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the dirt. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Doe?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
What do we do?
Exactly what individuals ask when I'm walking through the airport.
Oh, what's that?
I'm on the street.
What do they want you to do?
I'm at the mall. They scream, "Give the people what they want."
That's my favorite. People just say give the people what they want and just keep it moving. So I'm trying, man. Trying to give the people what they want every single day. We always give the people what they want. Mm-hmm. One thing we don't do is lie to the people.
Never.
We pre-tape the show today. Right now, there is a man that is very intently watching Game 7. There is a mystery bettor in Las Vegas who is making millions of dollars betting on the World Series. R.J. Bell first reported on Tuesday that there was a man in Las Vegas who was 5-0 betting on the World Series games. He then put $8 million on the Dodgers to win Game 6. He won that. He now has an estimated $14 million. He's younger than 30, he's Eastern European, and he's spreading bets all across town. Jalen Rose, if you had $14 million riding on the game, where would you watch it? How would you watch it?
I think I know who this is.
Oh, you do?
And that description ain't accurate.
Oh, okay. Who is this?
The same person who I would be watching the fight with. The same person I would be watching the game with. It's Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd. Yeah, it's definitely Floyd.
It's Floyd Mayweather.
It's definitely Floyd. He's the only person that would bet on this.
That's all this is.
Do you know what the Eastern European stuff is? Just throwing off the IRS.
No question.
He doesn't want the IRS to get involved.
Question.
He doesn't want anyone to know he's betting $14 million.
Fellow Michigander, newly retired, pays attention to the sports landscape and will bet 7 figures on basketball, football, himself. You might as well at him right now and let him know Jalen and Jacoby know that's you.
We know that it's you. Here's the thing. Can't you just keep the $14 million and just watch Game 7? Maybe bet $100 on it. Like, if you got $14 million, why are you gambling it again?
Because at this point, he feels like he knows who's going to win. They're playing at home. They got a chance to bring Kershaw to the dugout if things get tight late. And that could work both ways. It's going to be interesting to see for his legacy if he's brought in late. Kershaw is able to close out the deal.
I would just like to congratulate the Dodgers right now. I'm pretty sure the Dodgers are going to win. It's here in Los Angeles. They got all their pitchers ready. Puig hit a couple home runs. Congratulations to him. Tormund. What do I call him? Tormund. He hit a couple home runs. The Dodgers won. You know that, right?
So I'm going to flip the page, and I'm going to go with Houston. I truly am. And not just because I played with a couple of Texas boys in college, and Ray and Jimmy, and our theme song was the Ghetto Boys, and I know UGK represent Texas, so they all made me feel when I was young like I was a part of that culture.
Oh, so you think so?
Jake
Houston
Prince.
won. So you're going to congratulate Houston?
Yeah,
on
I'm
their
congratulating Houston.
I'm congratulating Los
Throw
Angeles.
it up.
Dave McMenamin.
Many.
Is reporting that after a 3-4 start, the Cleveland Cavaliers had a, you'll never believe it, players only meeting. Now, we don't like meetings on this program. We don't have a lot of meetings on this show, but it seems like the Cavs love to have a lot of meetings. Why are they having so many meetings? Take us behind the curtain. What happens in this meeting?
Here's what happens in this meeting. There's one major distinction as it relates to this team. Was LeBron in the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, well, it ain't a players' meeting.
You'll never
hear part of ownership.
You'll never believe this. Dave McMenamin is reporting that LeBron was vocal in the meeting.
No.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I wonder who called the meeting.
I wonder who stood at the front of the meeting with a PowerPoint.
Like a teacher in the classroom.
Exactly. This was LeBron having a lecture. Is
no
what
question.
It was. You have to raise your hand to speak if your name's not LeBron James.
Absolutely. I'm the reason why each of you guys are in uniform.
How often do you guys have player-only meetings?
It depends on how bad your squad is.
Yeah.
And or if you're meeting expectations. What do we gauge success on?
Realistic expectations.
What are the Cavs' expectations?
They got to win the championship.
Okay. 3-4, you ain't on your way.
That's not it. That's not it.
Okay. And so you're having a lot. Here's what the Cavs are going to have to get used to. And this is interesting.
Injured players?
No. Playing with a squad of individuals who don't have a championship pedigree.
Ooh. Oh, wait. Dwayne Wade? There's a lot of people on that team that have rings.
You're integrating Derrick Rose. You're integrating Jeff Green. These are people that you're really going to rely on.
Isaiah Thomas eventually.
But here's the true problem for the squad. The pillars of their defense are Derrick Rose and Kevin Love. Rose isn't going to contain the ball, and Love isn't going to rim protect. And in the NBA, if you can't stop me off the bounce and you can't stop me at the hoop, I'm getting buckets if I get hot. And that's their issue, along with the fact they're not making threes at a rapid rate like they were last year.
Well, Ty Lue said Tuesday that the guys were not having fun. Guess what? When you're losing, you're not having fun.
Correct.
Losing's not fun.
And also, they don't have Kyrie to close the game.
No.
That's something they got to figure
LeBron
out
says
as
he's
well.
out of shape. He needs to play more minutes.
And also,
is what he's decided.
don't forget that they traded Kyrie for another guy that averaged 30 points a game that's not playing.
Yeah, he's not
Isaiah
there.
Thomas.
He's not there. Great Halloween costume. So earlier this week,
we won't easy.
the Sixers declined to pick up their fourth-year option on Jahlil Okafor, who has not seen the court that much this year at all. Here's what he had to say, quote, I've asked for a buyout. I had a talk with Brian about that yesterday just because I want to play. I know that's not being here. I know a buyout is one of the options where I get an opportunity to play elsewhere and to get on the court. But Brian didn't think it would be a good idea because he said they would be giving me away to a team for free, but that's pretty much where we stand right now. I'm just worried about my career. I want to be on the court.
I have words from my fellow NBA brethren.
Okay, what's that?
Jahlil Okafor. I've been in this situation. First round pick of the Nuggets, starting in the playoffs, playing in the rookie game, breaking the team's all-time assist record for a rookie, coming back second year, trying to continue to get better, leading the team in assists. Then I got traded to Indiana. And you know what happened that year? DNPs.
Larry Brown year.
15. So my advice is, number one, don't do anything where they can find you when they're not playing you. Don't be late for practice. Don't be insubordinate. Don't be popping off. When you go to the game and you have on a jersey, but underneath it you have black sleeves on, I've been there in Indiana. I've been there in Phoenix. That's before the game, you know, regardless of the score, regardless of foul trouble, regardless of the matchups, we could be up 20 or down 20. They're not putting me in.
Really?
You know what that means? They're trying to nudge you out of the league. So you have to find a way to persevere psychologically, emotionally, get through it, and then find another opportunity elsewhere. Because I think on the box in particular, he can get buckets.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Jalen Rose, we reviewed a lot of athlete Halloween costumes, and this one athlete, Kristaps Porzingis, actually went as himself for Halloween. He also had some other interesting things to say. He's been kind of tearing it up this year. You know, he's leading the league, points and such, and scoring a lot of buckets. But he said this to a Latvian website, Sporta Centers, which we might have some legal problems with, but we'll go on from there. I guess ESPN lawyers are not checking Latvian website names. But he told Sporta Centers that he didn't go to the exit interview with the Knicks because he wanted to stand up against Phil Jackson and said that Carmelo and the other players would not do anything to stand up against Phil Jackson. Interesting information. How do you think that him not going to the meeting contributed to Phil Jackson's ousting?
It contributed a lot because if you're the owner of the squad, you see this 7-foot ball player that's so young in his career that can shoot from 30 and dunk over the top and has shown so much promise to be the future of the franchise, yet we're advised by Phil Jackson, who you gave $60+ million, who, by the way, you did it when the fans were picketing your ouster as the owner. Ended up being a smart move. I've been talking about this for years. And then the next domino was what? Phil signed Carmelo, but the only way to get Carmelo to come back was what? Give him a no-trade clause. So you have him on the roster, you have Phil on the roster, you're paying him top dollar, but you're not actually turning the basketball team over to your best young player. And so for him to make that move, it clearly was a catalyst for not only Phil to leave, but for Carmelo to waive his no-trade clause.
Was it also a little bit of a sneak diss shot at Carmelo that he was telling a Latvian person, not thinking that the American media would ever see it?
I don't think it was a sneak diss. I think he was being factual. I like the fact that he embracing his nickname. The Knicks have shown some promise. Scott Perry's done a really good job of putting together Tim Hardaway Jr., Cantor's being a really good contributor. His personality, Cantor, is going to be welcomed in the New York market. He's really outgoing. He has a good personality. And again, he did that on Thanksgiving. And this is not for everybody, but on Halloween, certain men take the opportunity to be fools, and certain women take the opportunity to be freaks. He was kind of like in the middle.
Okay. Kyrie Irving was on Gino Auriemma's podcast. Everyone's got a podcast. So Kyrie's on Gino Auriemma's podcast, and of course he was asked about the flat earth stuff, where he continued to double down on his stance that the earth is flat. He has not seen a real picture of the earth, according to him. But that's not the interesting part. What I found most interesting was what he had to say about the moon landing. He's moved on from the flat earth thing, and now he's questioning the moon landing, and here's his reason.
Like, literally, as simple as this. Why is it that the shoot, like the steps, in terms of the pictures that they say he stepped on, why do they look completely different than the ones that are actually in the museum that he walked with? I just want to know. I just want to know these things. I have questions. Like,
Kyrie, you just want to know. You have questions. Well, guess what? Here at Jalen Jacoby, we actually did some research and we have answers for you, Kyrie.
Yes, indeed.
He's talking about Neil Armstrong's boots. There's a picture of Neil Armstrong's suit. That is not what the bottom of his boots look like. That's what Kyrie Irving is questioning. Here's the thing, Kyrie. Those aren't Neil Armstrong's footprints. Those are Buzz Aldrin's footprints. So, Kyrie, you have questions. We've got answers. There you go. What's next, Kyrie?
Drops the mic.
What's next, Kyrie?
Just let it go.
For real, just let it go.
That's the whole thing. I appreciate that Gino, well-deserved, has a podcast and that Kai went on there to talk about this topic. I'm not a master of astrology by any way, shape, or form, but at least I know that.
You know that. Do you believe that human beings landed on the moon?
I did.
Like, what percentage of you believes that the human beings landed on the moon?
I don't want to go. I ain't getting in the spaceship. That's space shuttle. That's cultural for real. Let me see what I want to do today. I want to go to the moon. How far is that? No, I'm good. I don't even want to get on a roller coaster.
So, after an awful showing from Trevor Siemian on Monday night, in which he just threw interception after interception, looked terrible, the Broncos are now turning to the one man that can save their season. Great defense, good players at the skill positions, just need a quarterback. Do you know who they're turning to?
I do.
Brock Osweiler. Could this be the pivot point for Brock Osweiler, where he saves the Broncos season?
This is the point where I'm like, seriously, Colin Kaepernick can't get any opportunity? This guy won at life. As a subpar quarterback, played a couple of games for the Broncos when Peyton Manning got injured. They won the Super Bowl when Peyton was pedestrian, and he was on the sideline. He got rewarded initially. People always overlook this part. Denver was actually going to give him a big deal, and he turned it down. Houston decided to pay him more, so he left to go to Houston. He couldn't cut it there. And now look who their quarterback is, by the way, Deshaun Watson. And then he gets ousted to the Browns, who, by the way, can't turn in a trade request on time.
So so then the Browns just pay him to go away.
They pay him to go away.
They're like, just go away,
Denver
please,
pick
Brock.
him back up on the scrap heap. Now he in the starting lineup. Living in America.
The thing is he could actually succeed in Denver. They have a great defense. They've got good running backs. They've got good receivers. They'll probably do some sort of like dumbed down, simple offense for him. I could see him winning like 3 straight games with this team.
Living in America.
Well, you know who else is living in America?
Who's
Eric
that?
Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe famously said he didn't want to be there, said it was the hair salon, but he actually met the Phoenix Suns. They don't believe him. They said that he's going to be traded. We all kind of waited for him to be traded. He never got traded, and he has now been paid $738,000 since they sent him home. This is according to Bobby Marks on Twitter. The amount will continue to increase $82,000 a day. Eric Bledsoe is getting paid to do nothing. Jalen, would you rather play for your money or kind of like Eric Bledsoe, get some time off, paid vacation?
Look at the shelf life of an athlete. Not necessarily in the NBA even, because you see athletes playing longer. You see a couple of guys into their 20th season. Almost like a used car. And when you pick up the Carfax, every nick, every ding costs you money if you're the seller. Now all of a sudden you're the Phoenix Suns. You're not increasing his value by him not playing. Oh, and by the way, you rested him last year because you were tanking. So he didn't finish the end of the last year on the floor.
Yep.
He's not starting the beginning of this year on the floor. You can't move him. You send him home. I said this from day one. A paid vacation is what this is.
This is like when you get suspended from high school. They're like, you're in so much trouble that we're going to give you a day off where you don't have to come to school.
Yeah, I hate that. As the founder of a school, I hate that so much.
It didn't make any sense because my mom worked, so it's just like I just had a free day. I was like, oh, at least it could give me more time to get in trouble. Well, shout out to Eric Bledsoe. $82,000 a day is a lot of money.
Keep getting them checks, E-Bled.
That's a lot of money. He's definitely getting them checks.
I guess he was getting good advice from Rich Paul after all.
That sounds like it. A German man was in a movie theater. He snuck beer, not Dirk. I'm not sure this wasn't Dirk.
It sounds like you said snuck beer.
He snuck beer into a movie theater, and then he tried to open the beer bottle because he didn't have a beer opener. And you know the trick, you use a lighter or something to open it up. He used pepper spray to open it up. Released the pepper spray into the theater. The entire place had to be evacuated. Jalen Rose, was his mistake bringing the beer in the first place or trying to use pepper spray to open it?
His mistake was trying to use pepper spray in the first place. And also, you expose yourself to anybody that's watching you when you see a bottle and you're able to open it with a lighter.
Yep.
That means you're clearly smoking and you clearly drink a lot.
What are you doing, Dirk? Jalen Rose, we have a don't get fired topic.
Doe.
And now, the don't get fired topic of the day.
So, Lala Anthony was asked about strippers that were on strike in New York City. And the bartenders and the strippers were at odds because they felt that there was unfair pay going on between them. So she weighed in. She says that she tipped them both equally, right? And then she said this, that there's a cutoff age that she said is 40 years old for people that want to be, I'll call them erotic dancers. I find this to be completely wrong. I mean, if Tom Brady can be a quarterback until he's 45, you're trying to tell me you can't be a dancer? And you know what? Whatever makes you happy. Why are we trying to cut this off? Come on, la. So 2 questions. Number 1, do you believe there's a cutoff age for erotic dancers? Number 2, do you tip erotic dancers and bartenders equally? Because no one does that.
First off, you might as well answer the second question for me.
You tip everybody.
Okay.
But you're not tipping equally.
I'm not tipping
You're not tipping equally.
Because there's a difference between somebody that's there to work and somebody that's there to perform.
Good point. Let's not get fired.
Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, shouldn't be any age limit.
Shouldn't be age limit to anything. If the customer's happy and if the provider of the service is happy and the service receiver is happy, why we got to have cutoff age? Moving on. I don't think we got fired there. The Knicks have a G League team. Okay? The Westchester Knicks. They've got a player on the G League team whose name, you ready for it? Max Hooper. His name is Max Hooper. He was born in February 5th, 1995. He's young. He's the guard for the Westchester Knicks. He went to Harvard and then St. John's and then Oakland University. Never a good sign. While he was at Oakland University, he told ESPN that he is the best shooter in the country. Is Max Hooper the best basketball name you've ever heard?
The best basketball name I ever heard was Magic.
It's not his name, though, Jalen.
That's his nickname.
That's his nickname. Max Hooper is the best real name.
Okay, so best birth name I ever heard for a player? Michael Jordan.
I might go World Be Free. Because he did change it to that, so technically it was.
Michael Jordan.
World Be Free,
It has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Jalen, yesterday you co-signed. We always co-sign power couples, but you wrote for this power couple a little too hard. When we found out that Tom Brady and Giselle were going to go on Halloween as avocado and toast, you said it was a boss move.
Is she smiling?
Yes.
Are they kissing?
Yes.
Boss move.
That's corny.
And let me tell you what
avocado toast. That's corny.
Let me tell you what ain't corny.
You're just saying that because he went to Michigan.
I'm saying
if he went anywhere else,
I'm saying
that's corny.
I'm saying that because they standing in front of that crib.
That's a good point. You can tell on Instagram people always do stuff like that on purpose. You know, they took one picture, he looked at it, he's like, oh, that's in front of a bush. Like, let's take it from this angle.
They had those outfits on for 10 minutes.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Great freight.
That's his nickname. In China, they have a different nickname for him. Let's listen.
So in China, everybody calls you letter bro. Letter bro, because you have so many letters for your last names. So how do you like this name? What's your thought on this?
This is my first time that I heard that name, that nickname. It's cool, you know. In China, people call me like that. It's cool.
I like letter bro. It's growing on me. I'm growing on me. Finally, this. A-Rod got advice from one of the most brilliant financial
Take some advice from me. You got some on your nose, right here.
Okay, thank you. A-Rod got some advice
Put your hand
from
when you got some on your nose and people don't tell you.
We're running out of the show. The show's going to end. I'm trying to set up this really important topic about Warren Buffett giving A-Rod advice, and you're just derailing the show like you always do.
Is it about finance?
Yes, it's about finance.
Okay.
He gave A-Rod the keys to happiness and financial success, and I'm trying to give it to the people, give the people what they want, and here you are talking about my nose.
Forget the money. Marry J-Lo.
That's really good advice. That's all he should have said. Part of giving the people what they want is listening to our listeners. If you go to our Twitter feed, you can send us questions. Jalen and Jacoby, make sure you follow that. If you go onto Reddit, reddit.com/r/Jalen and Jacoby, you can ask us questions there. And if you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. Today is Wednesday, which means what, Jalen Rose?
Hey, ladies!
It's Women Crush Wednesday. This is where we celebrate the women, the more responsible, more intelligent, more mature, kinder gender of our species. Ladies, we appreciate you calling in. We appreciate you tweeting so much. We're going to play the first voicemail.
What up, though? Hey, guys, this is Amanda from New York City. Go Knicks. Ride or die for the unicorn. All right, I'm calling to shout out my husband, Chris. He's running the New York City Marathon on Sunday. My boo turned me onto the pod, and like most ladies that call, I listen every day. So my question for Jalen and David, you got a big moment you've been preparing for. Take me through your pregame ritual. What do you do to get into your star player mode? Shout out to all the other ladies listening, and please, can we get Amali or Joey on the pod? Work it out already. One love.
Thanks for the shout. Shout to you. Shout to your man, Chris.
Good luck in the marathon.
Marathon's tough, man. You know what? Just finish. That's my advice for Chris. So here's my thing about Joey on the podcast. She's very expensive. You know what I mean? She's extremely expensive.
And Molly gets an ESPN check, so once she gets done working,
she doesn't have an excuse.
It's
but
like
Joey's
a second
expensive.
gig.
You know, I'm not here volunteering my time, and my wife isn't going to either. Next,
I'll try to get her on one of these Wednesdays at least.
What is your superstar pregame routine?
In the league, my routine for a normal game day was obviously go to shoot around and whatnot. I would try to get a massage.
Oh, okay.
Take a nap. Hour and a half.
At the
max,
hotel?
or at home. I would eat lobster.
How long before the game?
4 hours.
Because you need fuel in your body, but you never want to be full and play
4
basketball.
hours.
4 hours before
4
the
hours.
game.
I wasn't fast and I couldn't jump. 4 hours.
Okay.
If I thought something was holding me down, I wouldn't do it again.
Okay.
I'll shoot the ball, and if I thought my nail made a noise, I'll bite them all off in the timeout.
Okay.
I would also, the weird thing that might surprise people, I would always take a bath.
Before the game? Huh.
I felt like it would refresh my legs.
Really? Like an Epsom salt?
Absolutely.
Or just a hot bath?
I'll take a hot bath.
Really?
For every game.
And that rejuvenates your legs?
On the road, even when you're in a hotel.
Hold on. You're tall, and I'm tall too. I have trouble with bathtubs. They're not made for tall people. So when you sit in the bathtub, like you're sitting in a chair with your legs extended?
You're tall, which means you've been tall your whole life.
Yep.
You already know that your legs and torso have to be a choice.
Exactly. I don't like to make that decision. I don't want to make that decision. Dear bathtub makers of the world, allow me to recline in my bathtub, please.
It's
like everybody else does.
If your shoulders are in, your feet are out.
Exactly. Your knees are out.
And vice versa.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. I mean, I guess I could complain about other things. Another thing is, I'm really proud that Chris is running the marathon. Shout out to him.
And you know, one other thing I did besides like get to the arena 2 hours early, get out there, get some shots, post up moves over both shoulders, off the dribble moves, catch and shoot moves, shoot free throws. I would never put on my uniform until it was officially time for me to take the floor to play.
Oh, why's that?
I don't know if it was a superstition Or I just didn't want to put back on a sweaty jersey.
Yeah. Get a stain on it or something.
I want to put it on one time.
How many jerseys do you have there? On the road? Like, if you rip a jersey, Nike style. 2. They got 2 for you?
They have a backup for you. And you can always get a different number if something happened. Trainer has throwaway numbers and jerseys if you need. Yeah, you did know. Michael Jordan.
Is the life of a trainer hard?
The life of a trainer is difficult.
Difficult. Okay.
By the way, they know where the bodies are buried.
Can I just pump the brakes for a second? Because I was thinking about your day as an NBA player. It sounds pretty luxurious, okay? You're eating lobster. You're taking a nap. You're taking a bath. You know what I mean? You've got someone around who takes care of all your stuff. You're in a luxurious hotel. Oh, and a massage. Like, that sounds like a spa day to me. That sounds like what I would do on vacation. Like, that doesn't sound that bad. And then, if you don't play that many minutes, what do? You sit and watch a basketball game from the front court seats.
You're going to kick it regardless afterwards.
Yeah, then you go kick it afterwards. Like,
fine
as
dining.
much as we always complain about the life is so hard and all the training you have to do and all of this and the shelf life and we need to take care of our athletes, y'all are fine.
Hit the brakes.
No.
You've never heard me speak those words into a microphone. I'm the person standing on the table when healthy players are resting.
Yeah.
Now you see why I feel that way.
The nap and the lobster and the massage and the bath, like I don't feel too bad for you.
And if I'm not eating lobster with a salad, I'm eating maybe some pasta, Alfredo sauce, chicken, shrimp.
Sounds great. Where do you eat?
All of that.
Where though?
At
room
the
service?
house. At the house.
On the road.
Or the room service. A lot of people don't realize when you get to your hotel, like you could pre-plan all of that stuff. You could say, hey, can I order this at 4 o'clock?
You know what's a great boss move? That little checkbox breakfast thing you can do and tell them to have it hot and ready for you at 6:30 or whatever you need to get up. I do that every single time it's available. That is a boss move. Preparing that breakfast, not having to call and wait for 20 minutes, 25 minutes for it to come up, have a conversation with somebody and tip them or whatever. Next, Women Crush Wednesday, we have a very interesting response on Twitter from a Miss Esmer. Miss Esmer says, soft move or boss move, after sex with your partner yelling out, give the people what they want after sex. And then she says, love the show, shout to Reg.
That's a boss move. I should try that.
Here's the thing, though. It makes it sound less exclusive. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't.
Like I'm giving the people what they want. Like how many people are you giving what they want to? I thought I was alone.
Good point.
Here. You know what I mean? It makes it seem like a lot of people are getting what they want.
Good point. As long as it's exclusive, I'm rolling.
And next we have from this is a Woman Crush Wednesday question. I can't see exactly this is from. This is from AlfSig55, and that question is. My wife and I listen to the podcast every day. Shout out to you guys. She loves the Women Wednesday Love. You guys are great. She's heading to Philly for 2 days starting tomorrow. So, what can I do for my wife while she's out of town on work that's a boss move? Think effort, not dollars, since the holidays are coming. Then he asked how you're doing in fantasy football.
I got a great one for him.
First of all, I want to say this. If my wife goes away for 2 days and it doesn't sound like they have kids, all I'm doing is planning things for myself to do. And I think this is really nice that AlphaSig55 is looking for something to do for his wife to prepare for when she gets home, because that's me time as far as I'm concerned.
Hit the don't get fired button.
Okay.
And now, the don't get fired topic of the day.
Here's what you can do while your wife is gone.
Everything.
Jacoby just alluded to it. He talked about making plans for himself.
Yes.
Here's what you should not do. Go in the shower and make plans for yourself.
Why not?
You should save yourself. Okay? And I'm not talking about like the Frank Thomas commercial.
Okay.
I mean literally. Just save yourself. Don't shoot blanks. Okay? Save them. When she gets back after those couple of days, you'll be a new man. Number one.
Okay.
All natural advice.
Natural advice.
And I'm going to turn you on to something else. A little ginger, little apple cinnamon vinegar, and cayenne. A lot of people drink coffee and use caffeine and espresso during the day. I just gave you the formula that's not only going to flush you out, clean out your insides, but you're going to be all natural when she gets back.
And now, the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
I love doing this show with you. So, apple cider vinegar, cayenne pepper, and ginger.
The one thing people underestimate about me, I was a public figure for so long. Probably the Fab Five, I was 18. Mm-hmm. People sleep on the fact that I'm 44. I'm no young man anymore.
26 years in the game, people knowing your name.
So now you look at me and you be like, okay. So he still got all his teeth in his mouth, even though he bought them. Mm-hmm. Skin improved over the years.
Hairlines are always perfect.
Like
the graves are coming through.
I'm giving you a couple of my tips.
But what? Ginger like the root?
Ginger like the root.
Do I have to muddle it?
No, you can put it in water. You can put it in ginger ale. You can put it in whatever you want to drink.
Okay.
I'm telling you. It's a game changer. Okay. And here's another thing you can do while she's out of town.
Okay.
Don't drunk text old people in your phone.
Good point. If someone's over 35, just don't. Another thing is just, this is just a very practical thing. Just have the house clean when she gets back.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Even if you don't do it yourself, pay somebody else to do it, whatever it got to take.
Now, all of those were advice to make you better. Here's what you should do. Jacoby just said that also. Make sure the house is clean. Go wash her car. Fill it up with gas. You're talking like somebody that has a wife and 3 kids.
Yeah, I've been with the same woman 15 years. I'm not washing the car and putting gas in it.
I'm telling them what to do.
Okay. Good point.
All right.
Good point. What do I know?
Go grocery shopping. Okay. Stock up the fridge. Wash her car. Fill it up with gas.
Can we go to the bar with the boys one night?
This is all stuff you do during the day.
Okay. I gotta say, we gotta have some fun here. Wife's out of town.
At night, you don't have anybody counting your drinks.
No.
Normally, your better half is just that, keeping you out of trouble. So she knows when you have 2 beverages. She knows when you have 6 beverages. When she's out of town, you can have as many as you want.
That's great advice, Jim.
And start earlier. Don't be the dude that she's out of town, now you're trying to hang out extra late. And lastly, especially at night, when she calls you, you got to answer the phone.
Got to pick up the phone.
Gotta pick up the phone. When she texts you, you got to respond.
Pick up the phone no matter what.
You
if
gotta
you're at a place
answer.
or whatever, go outside.
Correct.
Do whatever you got to do. Pick up the phone. You don't want to go to 8-hour windows without speaking to each other.
Not at all.
Next, this is also from Reddit. It's from Flight 2380. Are long games like cornhole, lawn darts, and the rope ladder thingy that you throw at cultural?
Definitely.
Have you ever played, what's that one called where you throw the sandbags against the wood things? Cornhole.
No. I've never played cornhole. No.
Never?
I've never eaten Papa John's.
Yeah, I think I've had Papa John's once or twice.
Never had Hardee's. Never had Arby's. No. I don't even know the other games you just said.
I'm going to take everybody behind the curtain on how the show works real quick. They've got like real important journalists here at ESPN. And we wanted to talk about Papa John's in the show, but the real important journalist wrote an email to us that was like, it's not about the product. It is not an opportunity to disparage the product that Papa John's puts out. And we're like, well, we're taking it out of the show then. If I can't talk bad about their pizza, then I'll take it out of the show.
And by the way,
let real journalism and hard reporting get in the way of me having fun to making fun of Papa John's pizza. I'm a pizza expert. I feel like I have the expertise to discuss pizza in a professional manner. The same way you can analyze basketball because you're a professional basketball player. I was a professional pizza maker. I can analyze pizza responsibly on the air for the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. That being said, I will not because I'm scared to lose my job.
And this is why I'm proud to be associated with this program. Our look, if you're able to see us, is original and different from our backgrounds to how we deliver our content. Reg on the board. But here's what also makes us special. I'm not on those emails.
No, you're not. No, you are, but it's like your other account. You know what I mean? It's like your actual ESPN account. I bet you have an email that ends with at ESPN, don't you?
No.
I bet you do.
No.
I bet you do.
I've been working here 10 years, and when that was introduced to me,
as
the phone.
Do you do any of the compliance training? Do you do your own expense reports? Do you do any of this stuff? You've never done compliance training.
I have.
You're lying.
It was like a year and a half late. I didn't even realize that I was supposed to be doing it. And then I really got hammered down. Amina, the boss, y'all saw her on Family Feud. She's like, you about to come in my office and do this. You get us both in trouble.
I love Amina so much. I love Amina so much.
I'm like, I don't have a corporate login. I don't have a computer. She's like, you got one in your cube. I'm like, I'm not using that.
You've never used a computer in your cube?
No. Nope. I don't use company material.
You know what? I've never seen you on a laptop before.
I got one.
Where is it?
In my bag.
What? When do you use it?
On the airplane mostly.
But you sleep on airplanes?
When I'm not asleep.
Co-producer, Uncle Mar.
What up, though, Mar?
Sock move or boss move, socks or no socks while sleeping in bed?
So this is personal for me. There were times in my household where we didn't have heat in the winter.
Okay. Socks.
So not only socks, hoodies, Scully, socks, jogging pants, all of that. So I got used to sleeping with my socks on.
So you sleep with your socks on currently?
Nah, not where I live, barefoot.
Okay. I can't sleep with socks on. Can't do it. My feet gotta breathe.
I agree.
They're wrapped up in socks and shoes all day long. They gotta breathe. They gotta be out. They gotta see the world.
I agree. And also, I'm trying to pretzel with the better half. And I get hot at night. Sometimes I just sweat for no reason. I can't have on socks to double down.
You can't. Nope. You can got that apple cider vinegar.
You got to try
cayenne
it, man.
Pepper, ginger. Let's listen to one more voicemail. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. We'll play them on a show just like this.
Hi, Jalen and Jacoby. My name is Shiva. I'm from the Bay Area. And my husband's been trying to get me to call in for a while, and I figured what better time than on his birthday. So, happy birthday to my wonderful husband, Nasser. He and I have been longtime fans of your show. My husband watches a lot of sports shows, and I typically don't like them. But a little over 3 years ago, he was watching a show that was the perfect marriage of sports and pop culture. After that, I found out there was a podcast, and I've been a loyal listener ever since. I actually also watch this show on TV sometimes because I don't want to miss out on some of the visuals you guys talk about. So thanks for giving us a good pod to step to. Soft move or boss move? Answering the phone, what up, doe? I started answering the phone that way when my husband called, and he was not a fan. Apparently, I can't pull it off. It hasn't stopped me from saying it, though. Thanks, guys. Shout out to Reg and the whole crew, and shout out to
We have to find a way, and when I say we, I really mean everybody else because I don't do anything.
Yeah, you don't do anything. So whatever you're about to do is
so
one of those things.
whatever I'm about to
where
say
you're
is
on
give
wax. You basically give tasks to the crew.
Somebody
I hate
else.
it when you do this. I hate it when you do
and
this.
I'm pretty sure right now.
Go ahead and do this. You're going to do no
everybody's
follow-ups.
rolling their eyes.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just like, oh, here goes Jalen again.
We need to send her and her better half,
Malcolm and Sheeta,
some shirts. We should do that.
You should do that. You should do that. You should.
We should do that.
You should reach out. You should reach out. You know, Reggie will get you the information. You should reach out. Put some shirts in a box. Do you even know how to get it? You're at the mailbox place all the time.
I am.
So I know you can get this done. I know you can get this done.
I am. So here's what I want to say. Not only because today's Wednesday, but every day. James Brown once coined it in the record. It's a man's world. He was loud, he was proud, he was bold. It sounded really good. Dudes start sticking out their chest like, yes, a man's world. What did he say after that?
But it's nothing.
Nothing.
But a woman and a girl.
Exactly.
I love I said woman or a girl. Just a weird way of phrasing it.
Exactly. Well, nowadays, I ain't gonna
say woman.
I ain't gonna even go there.
You gotta say woman nowadays, James.
So, with that being said, you run things. Say what up, though, every time he calls on purpose now.
You know what's a soft move? I hate it. My brother does this. His name's Peter. He always picks up the phone and goes, this is Pete. I know this is you. I called your phone. I'm not just calling random numbers, just hoping you answer.
And
I know it's you, and you know it's me.
And thank you. And you know it's me calling.
So why are you doing this generic hello?
Hit the brakes. I'm going to teach you why. It's cultural.
Yep. This is Pete. How do you know Pete's not black?
How many Petes do you know that are black?
There's black Petes out there.
Okay, who?
The correct answer is because he's your brother.
Okay, who? Name me one Pete in sports that's black.
Pete from, not in sports, but Pete from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Peter with the bald head. Boom.
Okay.
Boom, black Pete.
You cover sports for a living for the last umpteenth years.
This
Name me
fair.
one black Pete or Peter in sports. Anybody. Quick.
Pete Rose. Pete Rose. Your last name is Rose. His last name is Rose. You're both black.
And I know you're trying to think of a Peter. I know you're trying to think of one. I know somebody talking
They're
in
out
your
there.
ear. Curtis, Alex, Barron, Reg.
No one's talking about you. They're out there. I mean, I'm not.
But here's the thing, especially on a Wednesday. Big shout out to Tanner. We can't keep leaving out Allison. Because all I know is this. That's the only person that sends me emails every day for this show.
Tomorrow we'll be back with a new pod to step to. We're finally back on the radio, so you get a full podcast from us. You get a full hour. We're excited about that, trying to get the people what they want. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends to subscribe. Go on to iTunes, leave ratings, write ESPN long, strongly worded emails about how much you love the show. Keep us going. We'll be back tomorrow.
We're not done. We're not done.